What is the best way to bulk? All right, so bulking can be a very complicated, it can be very complicated oh system to use. All right, there's a lot of bulking plans out there, and a lot of people get bulking wrong. All right, so let's get straight into it. So you might have seen all those videos of people dirty bulking, where they stuff their face with just anything that has any bit of calories in it. All right, this is gonna be your main, group of people who are just focused on the macros, the calories, every little bit of calorie. All right, it's so important to get all the calories. They don't actually consider what they're actually putting inside of their body. So you see people like Sam Solik. All right, Sam Solik's a great example for this. Like 2 years ago, whenever I was trying to learn about bulking, I would watch a Sam Solik video. I watched him step like a full like dozen of donuts just in his like mouth. He'll go to like McDonald's and eat a whole bunch of cheeseburgers and stuff like that. And he's just eating like fucking whatever. All right. And I'm like thinking like they're like, wait, I'm allowed to do this because this is actually good for me because I'm bulking. Like it put that shit in my mindset that like it's completely healthy for me to, just put whatever I want in my body because I'm bulking. I came to the realization, where this shit is actually very detrimental to your health. So the problem when you bulk like this or eat like this in general is it's eventually going to show, right? I didn't know this at the time. I didn't experiment. Thank God I did not experiment with this shit at all. So thank you for that. But like, if I did that, that would have been bad. But I seen results of people dirty bulking all the time, and not only will you feel like shit, right? You'll look like shit, right? Because whenever we're building an aesthetic body, we don't want to, we want to look good, bro. And you're gonna like look good in the bulking process whenever you do the bulking. I'm about to teach you guys in a little bit. Versus whenever you do the dirty bulking process, you're gonna look like shit the whole time. And it's gonna be very demotivating. It's not gonna feel good, especially whenever you're an athlete, right? We're trying to, push for athleticism here. And if you're dirty bulking, you're just putting whatever into your mouth because it has more calories, you're gonna be destroying you're going to be destroying your health in general when eating this way. So this is excluding the health problems it could also lead to. All right, so you not only will you feel like shit, look like shit, you also have a lot of health problems. Like people like Sam Solik, there's a big chance they won't make it past 30. All right, it's definitely possible, right? Some people just get away with this shit, but you're definitely putting your chances like higher and higher and higher whenever you're eating like that. All right, or living a lifestyle like that, right? He's on roids and all types of shit. All right. But we're not gonna get into that. We're not trying to look like Sam Solik. We're trying to look like David Lade. And he's on roids too, but his physique's a lot more naturally achievable. All right. So the goal is to avoid any bulking plans that will involve eating unhealthy and using bulking as an excuse for bad eating habits. All right. So just because you're bulking doesn't mean you get to put a whole piece of box in your mouth. All right. We're not doing that shit. We're eating real food around here. All right. That's what Batman would do. That's what I'm doing. All right. So this is what would happen if you dirty bulk. All right. You won't look like this completely, but like this is a good example of dirty bulk gone wrong. I think this is AI too. Like this is funny, bro. But like this is real. Like this is real shit. Though. Like you won't look this bad, of course. But like you'll just think you look like this guy if you take the dirty bulking route. All right. So if you just put this in your mind, you'll look like this guy if you take the dirty bulking route. You won't be as in the mindset like, oh, calories is the only thing that matters. All right. So the bulking we're going to be doing is lean bulking. Lean bulking is the best type of way to bulk because, well, it says it in the term lean bulking. All right. So you're going to be bulking while staying lean. That's what we want, guys. That's what we want. So the reason why lean bulking works well is because lean bulking will focus on getting bigger while actually staying lean, like I just said. Lean bulking is one of the main reasons why I was actually able to keep my jawline and abs, during the bulking process, right? As I showed you guys in the intro, I kept my abs, right? So my lean bulking plan is going to consist of focusing on testosterone boosting foods and liquid calories. So a lot of the stuff I was focusing on, which will be my meal plan later, a lot of the stuff I was focused on was trying to, boost my testosterone. Like these last 6-7 months, I was very focused on, boosting my testosterone. Whenever you're watching this, it might be like a year from now already. But so I'll just say from like June 2025 to December 2025, I was very focused on just all the testosterone optimization, right? So going outside, getting the sunlight, sleeping forever. We're going to get more into sleep later, but sleeping forever, right? Eating very, very healthy, lifting the right ways to optimize testosterone. Because if you lift wrong, you could be destroying your testosterone, right? So there's a lot of things that can destroy your testosterone. So you want to basically focus on just removing all the stuff that can be causing bad testosterone, like eating a whole pizza box, and you want to focus on the stuff that can actually boost your testosterone. So examples of testosterone boosting foods is going to be eggs, right? Eggs is great for this, all right? And what I learned just recently is the best way to cook your eggs is actually cook a sunny side up, right? These last few months, I have been cooking my eggs scrambled, and I didn't even realize like how much more like you get from just doing sunny side up. You get way more nutrients and enzymes whenever you eat a sunny side up, because the way sunny side up works is basically you cook the whites and you leave the yolk uncooked, and then you eat the yolk and you get all the nutrients and enzymes, right? So there is a disease you can get, or like a sickness you can get from eating like raw eggs. So you don't want to eat raw eggs, right? You just want to cook a sunny side up, because the egg white part is what you don't want to eat, raw, right? You want to eat the yolk raw. If you eat it like this, you cook it right, this is going to be the best type of eggs you can have. And I don't even know why. Like, nobody in the space tells you to eat a sunny side up. Like, I haven't seen any video tell me to eat sunny side up, right? They always say eat raw eggs. They don't actually tell you to eat sunny side up, bro. Just eat sunny side up and you're going to actually get the nutrients. All right. Next is going to be meat. Oh, I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked, but with eggs, I also realized that eating sunny side up, like, you get a lot less full feeling while still getting the same calories. So that's like a great feeling, because whenever you're in the bulking process, feeling full is such a terrible feeling. So if you can just get the same amount of calories without feeling full, it's going to feel amazing, right? Next is going to be meat. So red meat is going to be the main focus. Reason because of that is because, you get your zinc and you get a lot of good animal protein nutrients from eating meat. Same thing with fish and chickens, like a little bit less. Chicken's like the last thing you want to eat, right? This is still very good for, testosterone, protein, but this is like the last thing, you want to eat, right? The main focus is going to be eggs, meat, and fish. Should I take a breather real quick? So examples of liquid calories, and I said it right here. Liquid calories is like a complete cheat code for bulking, right? I'm gonna get more into this later. I'm gonna give you guys the exact protein shake I use to bulk up, and it's it's a cheat code. So protein shakes, juices, and milkshakes are all examples of liquid calories, right? My focus is going to be only on protein shakes and juices. The reason why we don't want milkshakes is because back to the whole Sam Solik. What would Sam Solik do? Matter of fact, that's what we're going to do now. For our current mindset, whenever you're, thinking about bulking and eating food, you're going to think, what would Sam Solik do in this situation for bulking, right? Think of it like that. What would Sam Solik eat? And then whatever your mind, gives you the idea like, oh, donuts. You say, nope, we're not eating donuts, right? So don't eat what Sam Solik does, all right? We're trying to avoid that at all costs, all right? What would Sam Solik do? Would he have a protein shake, or will he have a milkshake with a whole bunch of calories? Okay, so we don't eat the milkshake. We had the protein shake. Think of it like that. I just came up with that shit with the top of my head, but think of it like that, and you might be, on the right track. Now, 5-step plan. This is going to be the 5-step plan for lean bulking, all right? This is going to be very easy, very simple. You can do this literally today, all right? So to start simple, I want you guys to remove any junk food from your site. So this is going to be stuff like cookies, right? Sam Solik is going to be eating cookies. I'm dissing Sam Solik like crazy, but like he's just a bad example for the bulking, community. This is not even a community, but like for people who are trying to bulk, he's a bad, role model. Cookies, candy, fast food, soda. Avoid those at all costs. Stuff like that, right? Obviously, chocolates, cakes, all of that. Any junk food you basically just want to avoid. Like I said right here, remove any junk food from your site. Also, whenever you're at the store, you're buying foods and stuff like that, I also want you to look out for seed oils. So seed oils would be like soybean, canola, sunflower. There's a lot more out there, but you guys can look more into that if you guys want to. Next is going to be artificial dyes. Artificial dyes is going to be like red 40, yellow 5. Processed sugars, you want to avoid those at all costs. Artificial sugars, you want to avoid those at all costs. All right, you don't eat none of this bullshit. All right, the main focus is going to be eating whole single ingredient foods. All right, did I read everything? Yeah. All right, next, don't buy junk food. That's step 3. Don't buy junk food. That's literally all. Don't buy junk food. If you see any type of junk food in your site, don't buy it. All right, remember this course. Don't buy junk food. You don't need that in your body. Now, you used to only have clean foods at your house. And by the way, guys, whenever you don't buy the junk food at the store and you don't have that at your house, there's going to be so much friction, right? Like, instead of seeing the Oreo right here and being like, oh, I can just go pick it up and eat it, you just don't buy it at all. And then there's so much friction, right? There's like a full thing, like there's a full wall in between from you driving to the store, buying the Oreos to actually eat some Oreos, right? So it's going to be so much easier just to do this in general, right? That's why I want you guys to remove it entirely out of your house. So now you should only have clean foods at your house, which will make you eat clean foods. All right. And instead of having Oreos and all that type of stuff, just eat fruits, right? Fruits are amazing, guys. Just find your favorite fruit and just eat it whenever you get the sweet tooth. After like 2 weeks, like your sweet tooth for eating junk food is gonna be completely gone, guys. All right. Like I haven't got a sweet tooth for eating junk food in ages. Like it's been a while. And if you follow this, you will have way better gains. Remember that too. While still looking lean and feeling your best. So there's so much benefits, guys, from just lean bulking, eating healthy foods for your body. All right, guys, you want to look at food like it's fuel. All right. Now, after doing this consistently, you have more mass, more energy, and you will be healthier if you continue to follow these modules. All right. So that is the lean bulking plan. All right. Like I said, we will be diving more deeper into this in the diet part of this course, but that's kind of the philosophy of what we're trying to go for. We want a lean bulk. We don't want a dirty bulk like Sam Solik. All right. Sam Solik, we don't want to eat like him. All right.